Hello, welcome back to Blender LiveNoding. In this episode, I'm gonna try to use animation nodes and Sverchok to do like a MetaBalls instancing. MetaBalls is actually a very powerful ways you can generate like a random kind of mesh. Um, if you are actually using Blender's own features to work with MetaBalls, that's kind of in a way that you can instance it. You can use something called dupli-vert and in Blender. So dupli-vert. So let's say first of all, metaballs. If you have like a multiple metaballs, you can see that it quickly generates this kind of really cool kind of mesh that's kind of morphing and stuff. And if you want to do the same thing for multiple metaballs, you can do that if you use dupli. So if you parent the metaballs into this mesh, for example, I'm gonna parent it as an object, and then it's parented, and I will turn this guy into wire. And the next thing I can do is to turn on dupli-vert. Now you can see right away dupli-vert generates this metaballs, and this is actually if you kind of modify the objects, the duplication of metaballs will morph as expected. So if we use something like displace modifiers, and like just use like cloud texture, and then use like this object's texture coordinate, you can kind of generate a really funky kind of result like that. Yeah, so that's really cool. You can also like increase the diffusions, and you get a something that's a little bit more interesting. So that's kind of pretty cool, but we want to do it using Sverchok and animation nodes because it's you can get like a more robust kind of result. Let's say I'm gonna start with a icosphere, and let's make subdivisions just one, and then quickly output a bmesh, viewer bmesh, and then just output the points, nothing else, just the points. You can see in the 3D view there's a points there, and I'll save this. This is animation nodes ANSV metaballs. Now we're gonna use animation nodes to do the metaballs instancing. We need at least one metaballs. I'll just put it down there. That's the master metaballs. Let's switch to animation nodes and then turn off always. Get the object instancer node, get the metaballs, and right away we can use a mesh data from objects. You can use mesh data. Actually, there is another one, mesh data object mesh. So there are two ways you can access mesh data. I think so. This guy or this guy, which one you prefer? Either way will work. I'm just gonna use this one for now. We just need the vertex locations, and then you plug that into the instance. It's gonna knows how many instance objects it's gonna be generating, which is the metaballs in this case. And then you use the object transform output. Simply enable position. We don't care about rotations for now. So the objects is the metaballs, and the locations is from the vertices. Okay, now we have the things going on. One funny thing is that we cannot put the master in different layer. It doesn't work. We need to put it in the first layer. So just hide it somewhere, I guess. The next thing we want to do is we can go back to Sverchok and then kind of play around with it. Okay, it doesn't seems to work because actually we might need to turn on always. Yeah, so this might be a little bit heavy on the recording, but anyway, you can see the things kind of updating in real time. Okay, so that's pretty cool, and you can use randomize input vertices, for example. Just use a random and then randomize the seed. Oops, I actually accidentally generates big number of icosphere. I should have done that. Have to always be careful with the number, I guess. I'm gonna kill Blender and restart again. So yeah, you can see now using icosphere being generated inside Sverchok as a template for the MetaBalls duplications, you can generate like a very organic kind of mesh. And oops, gotta hide this and quickly open this again. File, save as. You can of course use any kind of mesh generator, including line, for example. So that's 2 line, 3, 4, 5, and the stepping. And it's pretty fun to do, and you can also use like things like vector noise. This guy will generate like a snake. Maybe I need to move it. I might need to make the metaball smaller. So vector in, plug into this guy, and we can move the snake. I'll plug in the frame info here. I think I need to make the metaballs a little bit smaller. So in the scale here, so the scale and the metaballs attributes you need to change inside animation nodes. In this case, if I play back the animations, looks like a very wild. It's too fast. I'll make it smaller. Number should be animating like a snake. Okay, in this case, kind of like a wiggling. Try increasing the number. So it's still doing the wiggle. But I think if I'm not wrong, if we use vector math and just add this together, we should get like a snake. Okay, that's actually kind of wrong. Okay, doing it. I have to do it like this way. And now I can move it. Maybe in the x-axis. Okay, we're getting that. Okay, interesting. This one should generate like a kind of like a snake's pattern, but I'm doing it wrong. Okay, I need a very small value apparently. Very small value, and then increase the number. There you go. Actually, I have too many there. 100. So we have maybe 50, stepping 0.025, and we have some kind of snake. Maybe I need to vector math here and multiply scalar. Plug this guy here. There we go. And back to animation nodes. We're gonna turn off the relationship lines. Playback. Okay, so we have our snake. And also make this slower. Yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do here. Maybe in the next live noding I will try to use like a grease pencil. You see, when we go to full screen, it becomes really fast. This is how animation nodes performs best in full screen. Sverchok itself is already pretty fast in terms of calculating the mesh being generated. But imagine you are using metaballs and with grease pencil or maybe other kind of structure, maybe even like using particles or particles hair. You have like endless ways to generate mesh basically, even though it's not like a volume measure like yet, but this is like it's pretty good. Metaball is like really powerful if you know how to set it up properly. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this live noding. It's very basic. Hopefully this is useful for you. Let me know what you think, and